All right. Let me make sure sound is on. All right. So, gonna walk you through the trade I made today. It was not live. I was in the middle of testing and stuff, so I could not make it a live video. But as you can see, where I got in and where I got out, it's right here. I took one short late in the morning. Usually it's a little bit later than what I'm used to. But anyways, took this trade, sold three contracts on the micros at 25,750 even, and then sold out of it at 730. So almost a 20-point win. It was a 1950 win. I did have to hold through some pretty good drawdown though. So as you can see, I got in here at 2750, which is right about there on this candle. And held through all the way through the high of this candle is 96.25. So 46 points of drawdown. Main reason why I'm doing the micros is so I can hold through that drawdown. And then it came all the way back and got me out at the low of this candle right here, basically, which was, again, 27.30.50. So a 19 and a half point win, which is, I'll take that all day, every day. Pretty excited and happy about that. Um, the account now is at 48,543. We're up roughly, I think today it was $114 on the win. So we're up roughly $175, I think, close to that, from, being down 1,600. And I'm still down clearly almost 1,500, $1,457, I think is what I'm down. But again, I'm just trying to get away from that $48,000 threshold to then add size to some of these trades. Um, but it'll be a minute before I do. So right now I'm just comfortable taking three contracts and trading into decent momentum. Again, this momentum, I actually had it set to where I was going to take it off at about 37. I think it was 37.50. The low of this was 75, so it was probably about 36 or 35.50. And it was within a point and a half, point or 2 points of my exit, and then it pulled against me 46 points. Probably could have took it at 10 points instead of trying to hang on to it a little bit longer. When it pulled against me and started making the move, that's when I moved my target down to go ahead and try and get roughly about 20 points out of it. Because I felt pretty confident that it was going to keep going south all the way down to this low end of this opening range, 15-minute opening range, which is where that, closed off at right there. As you can see, that bottom low of the day right there holding on the 3 minute. Um, so that was the trade today. Felt pretty confident of it. Do I trade the opening range breakout or the opening range candle? I would say I use it more for um, like targets and stuff. Not necessarily like that's where I want to take the trade off or anything, but it's kind of like this first deviation in the VWAP. It's not necessarily my target. It's clearly not the VWAP, and it's not the opening, the Monday open or the Monday range. So it's not something that I would really view as a target. But if it's trending, like right here, we broke into it. We came back up to the 15-minute high, the opening 15. Let me just go to the 15-minute chart. So as you can see, this huge candle right here, this is the opening range high of the 15-minute. This is the opening range low of the 15-minute. We broke down. Once we broke down into it, I did take it to hopefully break down further. It did again pull back against me, but held the opening range high and then broke down all the way to the low. Now, once we started breaking down, I knew I had the first standard deviation in the VWAP as a target. I also had the opening range low, not necessarily as a target, but something that price could go down to, um, which it did. So, you know, A couple of those things I will keep on the chart just to kind of see, but I will definitely keep the 15-minute opening range in in view. But it's not something I don't take. I don't necessarily take the break out of it. Not consistently. I'm not going to say that I don't, but I usually won't consistently. Um, I try and trade setups, and the setup that I was trading was we had some. We had a downtrend here, then we broke down and kind of consolidated right here. If we go to a 1 minute chart, you can see a little bit better. We kind of consolidated right through here. And once we broke down and consolidated again, I thought this was going to roll. I thought this was going to be the area in which it rolled. It did not roll. Again, pulled against me. I held it for quite some time. As you can see, I held it through this pullback, and then we started to drop. Once we started to slow down here, I almost started to move my um, target, and then I was like, no, I'm going to hold it. As you can see, so I ended up getting out at the very tip of this candle. It pulled back into this trend line and then broke down even further. This trend line is more on the 3 minute chart. I'm sorry, it's more on the 5 minute chart. Uh, Maybe it is a 3 minute chart. I don't know. Anyways, um, I had that trend line going there, it broke through, but then ended up breaking back down. Maybe that's what I had it for. I don't remember now, so far away from it. That's the reason why I kind of wish, I can trade these live so, I can talk through what I'm kind of doing in that moment. Um, Price ended up continuing to break down and, but I am out, done and over with. Don't want to get into anything else. Feel pretty confident in this $114 win today. So that's really the trade. And it was, we broke down below VWAP and broke down into the opening range 15-minute high, which, kind of made me think that we were going to sink lower. So that's the reason why I ended up taking a short right in here on the 1 minute chart. Again, I thought once we consolidated a little bit here, we were just going to roll over and keep falling. Unfortunately, I did have to hold through some pullback. But it was not necessarily a momentous pullback. That's the reason why I did hold it. I mean, I was in drawdown 40 something points, roughly 200, 220 something dollars in drawdown, more than what I would like to admit there. But it did roll over and ended up getting me out. So, again, trading the micros as opposed to the minis gives me that room to hang on to it for a little bit. All right. Well, I appreciate you watching and catch you on the next one.